What's up, everybody? Welcome to a Dispo Masterclass. And in today's session, it's going to be super dope, dude. I'm going to be showing a lot of you guys a process that I feel that is very tedious. Okay, 90% of most real estate deals that I know in the industry, people that I know that do deals, like I'm touching gloves with like every single company. We're rubbing shoulders, man. Like we are in here, okay. And when I want to tell you guys is that a lot of people's main problems, specifically in their business, derives from disposition. Now, for you guys that don't know what dispo is, it's very simple. It's the act of taking a property that you have under contract and assigning it to a buyer. Okay. Now, again, those contracts, those properties and acquisition, whatever types of deals that they are, can be structured, can be assigned, can be wholesaled. Guys, you know you can wholesale sub twos. You know you can wholesale creative finance deals. You know, you guys can wholesale multifamily, land, ranches, industrial, commercial. It's all wholesalable, bro. Every single type of real estate property that you guys can think of on the freaking market can be wholesaled, even the ones listed on the MLS, right? And so, guys, disposition is a process. Now, I'm going to kind of break the paradigm on this. If all you're doing is building a buyer's list, I hope every single person in today's call understands that it has a limiting belief right there. You shouldn't be just building relationships so people buy product from you. Okay. You should be building relationships so that your investors can also help you in your business. Guys, I flip properties with my investors, 90% of them. I flip houses with them. They lend me money to buy properties, they lend me money to find properties. Come on, man. How many of you guys want a repeat buyer? A repeat buyer. It's like that. The first year that I ever touched $1 million in assignment fees was in 2017, 8 years ago. And let me tell you this, right? I was flipping a house. I was in hard money, one of the worst situations that I was ever been. And let me tell you, like it was crazy. I thought I was about to lose this house. Somebody broke into my property and they took my AC unit. They took my AC unit, my granite countertops, and they took my sinks that I was gonna drop into the kitchen. So, guys, I don't know if y'all know, but that's expensive, right? Well, June, that's what I get for, flipping houses in the hood, which I highly recommend that if you do flip a property, pick a B neighborhood, pick a B plus neighborhood. That's kind of where I like to stay. Now, C neighborhoods are good, but make sure you install cameras. Make sure those cameras can check if somebody's about to pop up. It's dope. By the way, I saw your last name, June. Uchiha. Yes. I love that. Naruto is one of my favorite animes. So going back into it, right? I was so upset at the time. I was looking for somebody who just buy it off from me, right? So in my head, let's just reach out to some buyers or something. Called a couple of people. Nobody was willing to help me. I was stuck in hard money. My loan was about to mature. If you guys don't know what that looks like, typical hard money terms nowadays is like 11%. So you're paying every single month, right? And then you have to put 3 to 4 or 5% down, which is of the whole loan. So if you're borrowing 100 G's, right, you're gonna have to put up $3 to $5,000 to initiate the loan. Never flip a property with hard money unless you guys got a cushion of at least $15,000. That's my recommendation. I know some people who do it with less. You're playing Russian roulette on that one, man. And the last thing that you want, you know what I mean? So just be careful in utilizing people's money to flip houses. Have a good cushion and you should never go wrong. And if you buy under a formula, well, then you never lose money. Okay. And so again, in my head, I'm just like, man, I'm so screwed. What am I gonna do? My contractor that was helping me with the project was like, bro, you got to go talk to this guy. And I said, okay, who's this guy? And he's like, well, you got to meet him. And so he took me to the dude's office. Homeboy had a AC unit for half price because I needed a pretty big unit both inside and outside. He had it, right? So I went to his office. It was a gentleman. His name was Aaron Pfeiffer. I speak this story all the time. If you've been in my previous calls, then you know who I'm talking about. He was my first real estate mentor. Up until then, if I wanted to learn real estate, people like me weren't doing videos like this back then. Okay, this was like 2015, 2016, moving up into the time frame before YouTube blew up and now everybody's kind of joining Facebook groups and creating communities and giving out free education. I didn't have any of that, okay? And if people were teaching this, wholesaling was that thing that nobody wanted you to talk about. Because if I mentioned it to somebody, they'd be like, shh, Quentin, don't say that, bro. Nobody knows about that. And in my head, I was like, why? You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like we would all make more money together if we worked together, in my opinion. But all good. So wholesaling was in a different time frame back then. It was really relationship wise. The internet has changed a lot of things these days, But I remember this so vividly because this Aaron guy was like, so you're a wholesaler. I said, well, I mean, I flip properties too. That's why I'm here. I'm buying your AC unit. And it was like, but if you find properties that you don't buy, would you give them to me? I said, yeah, sure. And he was like, well, I'll tell you what, Q, I like the conversation that we had. Every single time you find a deal, bring it to me first. What do I got to do to get you to send them to me first? I said, I never thought about pitching anything before. I said, well, 5 grand sounds like a lot what I would need right now to send you every deal that I got right now. If you don't mind that, good sir. You know what he did? He wrote me a check for 5 grand. I just met him. We sat down and we talked for an hour. And so then I felt, okay, I got to build a relationship with this dude. We could have put his money where his mouth is, right? I sent him some of the worst properties that I had that no one was buying. And he bought every single one. At a point in time, I would take properties to this dude, right? And when I would take these houses to this gentleman, he would just be like, how much you want to make on this one, Q? We didn't even have to go through a title company. He didn't care. He bought them there. He owned his own title company. I don't know really what his business model was, but in my head, I'm just like, wow, man, this guy's loaded. He'd come through and he'd be like, are you making 20 on this one? Are you making 30 on this one? Oh, you know what? I want you to keep doing this, bro. So go ahead and bring me like 5 more of these. I'm gonna write you a check for 30. Can I advance you 10 on top of that for the next one? And so, like, legitimately, it was at a point where, like, every single month, this dude was buying deals from me. It was at a point where he was buying them so high. I was taking John's deals, Mark, Tim, Wendy, Carlos. I was taking all of y'all's deals and just sending them to this guy. And he was buying every single one, and I was stacking my fee on top of every single one. That deal, guys, I did that year. I did a little over 140 deals. It was by myself, no office, no nothing, and I just had a really great network. So wholesalers were sending me their deals. I was moving probably like I don't know, 15, 20 houses a month, dude. It was crazy. This was a very weird time to be in the business. Now, this gentleman, right? He ended up being my private money lender. He ended up being my mentor. He helped me fund my first office. I put 100 grand in my pocket and helped me fund my first office. I opened up an office. My whole operation was built around finding this guy properties. That was in 2018. I'll never forget Aaron, man. He was one of my best friends. He did so much business with me. And any hard time, any trial, and any tribulation, he was always somebody that I could depend on. You see, most people they operate Dispo in a very transactional way. Guys, I'm here to tell y'all in today's session, the business model of disposition is not transactional, it's relational. It's relational because when you build relationships with people, well, let me tell you something about doing good business. Good business brings good. Who can finish that? Good business brings good what? Good what? Favor, right? Favor's one. We can say favor. Good business brings more good business, right? Doing good business brings good people, right? And so, guys, there's so many things that doing the right thing will do for you. It's not even funny, man. And so, for all of you guys that are here, I don't know, I don't want y'all after this call to think of disposition as just a transaction. If you treat it like that, it's going to treat you like that. And you're never going to build a meaningful connection. Dispo is the art of creating meaningful connections, bringing value to people who have a lot of money. Guys, I'm telling y'all, I get people who want to back me all of the time. They want to put their money into my operations. They want to fund Q for all the stuff that he has going on. And it's a beautiful thing. I'm very grateful for it. But at the same time, guys, understand something. It's so imperative that if you're in this call, is that when you focus on Dispo after this, I want you to think about the quality of the product, quality of the service, quality of the relationship, right? Some of us got favorite restaurants that we go to where our person who serves us knows our name, right? Those are the best places to go, bro. If I'm going to any of those restaurants, I know that person's gonna get my refill right. They're gonna know I want dessert. They're gonna bring me my chocolate cake and then some, right? And so we want that type of service with our buyers, where our buyers know us by our name. They love the business and the service that we provide to them. We bring them a quality product that makes them money consistently and it brings in more revenue for both of us. So I can go on and keep doing what I'm doing while he's doing what he's doing, right? And eventually, guys, guess what? You start making so much money on this stuff, you can actually buy your own properties. You can actually hold your own properties. You can create more passive income. You can hold on properties 5 plus 10 years, build equity in them, cash out refi, buy more. 1031 exchange into this one, right? Creative finance this deal, sell it on a wrap over here, right? Take the property back, sell it on a wrap again, keep collecting down payments. It's such an amazing thing to have access to a lot of money. And that's what I want to show you guys today. All right, now how do we do that? We start first with the process. So I'm going to share my screen again, guys, for y'all here. Today's session is called the Dispo Lab. It's our formula for buyer success, formulating a buyer success in this business. All right. So again, what is disposition? Very simple, y'all. You guys can take screenshots of this if you'd like, by the way. Disposition is the process of assigning or selling a contract to a qualified end buyer. Now, our core objective here is to maximize the amount of money that we're making on our time. It's very important, okay, that we are maximizing our profit margins. Our people that are buying our properties from us need to understand that. So again, a lot of times we're dealing with motivated sellers, right? The goal is to get our contracts as low as possible. Great. Our goal is to also get our buyers as high as possible. And what we make in between, well, that's our business. That's how we can create more traction in our companies to fund our marketing, fund the leads that we're purchasing, the skip tracing, the dialers, the softwares, the systems, the CRM, everything that you guys can think of goes into Dispo in every single type of way. Okay. Now, kind of breaking this down, what are some of the tools that you guys could use to expedite this process? By the way, Alex, you made a fire freaking presentation. I just want to say, what are some of the tools that we use? So, guys, I don't know if y'all know. I posted this. I think no, on Saturday I did a 4 hour call where I used AI. I got 2 properties under contract, 3 that I'm going to ink right after this, using AI. And so, guys, I own Jarvis. Jarvis is a platform that you can utilize to organize your buyers, send out email blasts and text blasts, and even track the follow ups. People can opt in to your pages and be a buyer, and you can organize them. So, Jarvis is a great platform for all of you guys that are interested in utilizing something that can qualify motivated seller leads, set appointments for you on autopilot while you're at your 9 to 5 job, and on top of that, build a buyer's list and establish a buyer's list. Guys, another one I would recommend, batch leads. You could use this to pull cash buyer data. You can also skip trace. Maybe some of you guys don't know this, but I own a group, right? And it's called Wholesaling Houses 101. It's in school. So I don't know if y'all have been inside of school yet, but school's a dope platform. Let me pull it up real fast. So school, go to school.com, right? This is a free group. Alex, if you can do me a favor and drop the free group in here, it's called Wholesaling Houses 101. If you go to the classroom here, and then you look up this thing right here that says nationwide cash buyers for wholesaling. Click on that, and I have buyers lists. Like these are verified buyers lists in every single market: Colorado, Delaware, Florida, Hawaii, Iowa, Idaho, Illinois, Massachusetts, North Carolina. Guys, go on in here and download all of them so you can start your dispo business. I don't care. It's free. Guys, all you got to do is join the group. Y'all can have it. I don't care. Be a part of the group, join the calls, tell other people about it, bring them in. I got courses in this thing, contracts, training, cold calling training, one-on-one coaching if you guys want it. It's part of the thing. Live coaching calls, live cold call sales trainings, free scripts, and then a whole course that goes over literally everything that you need to make your business happen. So guys, this is free. I told y'all I'm going to give y'all some game. This is free. So there's no excuse now on where you can find buyers because I just gave them to you, okay? And so, guys, like again, that right there is worth, I think, what I paid like 40, 50 grand for all that data. Y'all can have that for free. Okay. I'm giving y'all $40,000 for free. So again, you can pull leads from batch. You can get verified cash buyer data just by being a part of Wholesaling Houses 101, which is my free community inside of school. Now, moving into this, right? What are some of the other tools that we could use? So, guys, my good friend Cameron, who's part of tonight's call, is going to kind of go over this tool with y'all to show y'all some really cool things that we can maximize that's network driven, that can allow for us to not just get more data on properties, get more feedback, but again, this is a full blown, comprehensive real estate network. It's called a private listing network. It's like having a wholesaler MLS. It's beautiful. Top of that, guys, you can get your buyers to opt in and send them deals through the platform. Cameron, you want to touch on this real quick before I move on to the next slide? Just making
Yeah.
sure.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
So this is my good friend, also co-owner of Dispo Labs. Cameron, go ahead and introduce yourself to the world, my friend. I cannot see you, by the way. There you
There
are.
we go. My camera was just turned off. How's it going, guys? All right, so let me get over here to screen share. It'd be the easiest thing, real quick. All right. So to give you all the quick rundown of what is Privy, so the Privy Listing Network, just like Quentin said, basically we've been able to develop the first of its kind private listing network for wholesalers. So it's kind of like you having an MLS, like the real estate agents do. Just it stays private instead of going through Zillow and Homes.com and things like that through syndication, right? So basically, are y'all able to see my screen, Quentin?
I can see it. Yes, everybody here can
All right,
see it.
good deal. All right. So the Privy Listing Network is just a place for agents, wholesalers, and investors to be able to work together, right? So it's not another investor lift. That's not what this is. What this is an actual network, almost like a real estate association, that's going to give you access to some of the top of the line software to be able to dispo your deals at a high level, right? So our job is to get as many wholesalers, real estate agents, and professional investors together in the same place and give you all the tools you need to dispo deals at a high level. So what you get with the Privy Listing Network here, as you can see, is it's nationwide. You get unlimited listing upload, so you can list all over the nation as much as you want. And of course, it's got a membership fee that right now for Q's guys has dropped down from $97 to $47 a month. And we'll get to this later, but we're going to give you all month free anyways, right? So let me keep going through here. The big difference between what anything else is out there is that this tool is set up for you to do two things. One, it's set up for you to be able to look like a true professional and access tons and tons of buyers through a network rather than just data farming on some type of, software that's got a bunch of property data that are maybe they did or didn't buy or skip trace or whatever. What you're going to get access through as part of a member is right here is what all these other patrons, that's what you're called whenever you become part of the membership. All these other patrons have listed properties. See, so this is just in the last couple of weeks. Over 80 properties are live, I think now. So what happens here is we've essentially built a way for everyone's buyers list to be leveraged at the same time. So when this patron lists their deal, and let's say they have no buyers because they're just gotten started, but they followed Q's instructions and they hustled and got something going, right? Well, when you're starting from zero from these buyers lists, it gets real difficult to move a deal. Well, the part of being a patron is that you don't only get your own buyers in this software, but somebody like Quentin, who's got thousands of buyers, who's uploaded them into the system, gets notification of your deal, right? So that's the big kicker here is you've basically, as you join the network, grow it like a snowball. The snowball rolls bigger and bigger and bigger with every wholesaler that actually adds their buyers to the network. So
Come
you
on.
can add for the beginning of the patron account, you have unlimited listings. If you want to upgrade to the unlimited buyers, just a disclosure here, the Zenlist account does make you upgrade to a $39 a month subscription. But so let me show you one quick thing before we move forward, and then we'll
Come on,
revisit a
guys.
lot of
Isn't
this at
that
the end where
fire?
we talk
The
about our
fact that we
giveaway.
can all like share is so insane. Like, wouldn't y'all want to just jump in and send a deal straight to my buyers? Like, legitimately, that is fire. Drop a fire emoji. Come on, this is just dope. Go ahead, Cam.
Oh, yeah, you're good. So I'm trying to pull up real quick. I may have to do it as an incognito because I have too much access. So it's kind of on our little trial account, all edited here. Here we go. I'm going to go to here. All right, here we go. So this is what I want to show you guys. So this is the coolest part, in my opinion, about being part of the network. Let's say that you've signed up and you have a ton of buyers, but you don't have any listings. You want to play that JV role, right? You want to focus on what we talked about earlier and start developing all these relationships nationwide. Every time a buyer gets sent a deal to someone else, so let's say I post a deal, Quentin's buyers are going to get something like this. And by the way, they're going to get this via email alert automatically. You're not going to have to do anything, even though Quentin did all the work to post the deal, and or I did in this scenario because I'm going to Quentin's buyers. They're going to get this automatically, and this would be me. This is actually my brother's account, so that's why the common name here. But they would get something like this. Now, why does that matter? So I posted a deal. I have no buyers. Thousands of Quentin's buyers just got this, but it would be branded to Quentin, right? So that's the key. You're still the expert here. So if you want to set yourself to be able to JV anybody else's deals, the network does that automatically. So every time these deals goes out, your buyers get alerts. And if it matches their buy boxes, they'll get a push notification. So not just some random SMS or email, an actual push notification with an app that when they click it, is going to be presented and branded to you. So they'll click something like this, and they would request access to be part of your buyers list. This in this example was someone who didn't have access. If you were added, you would have went straight to the landing page. and you would have just basically been routed to Hunter or Quentin, to where now you can book a showing and everything through them. So why does this matter? Well, number one, wouldn't it be nice starting out to send your deal out to everyone else's buyers beyond yours? Number two, when you do add your own buyers, every buyer who signs up to the network has exclusivity to their patron. So what that means is the relationships really do win here, not just somebody who does a big bulk upload into the system. So the every buyer who signs up is set with that patron. So if Quentin adds their buyer, they stay unless the buyer chooses to work with someone else. They almost have to basically go into the system and fire you to go to somebody else. So the sooner you get into the network, the more likely you are to obtain the best buyers too, because at the same time, whenever you invite them, they're going to be exclusive to you. You also get an automatic marketing link. So what I showed you earlier was that. So when you're trying to gather all these buyer lists and things like that, when you go to Facebook or any other way to, I'm sure we'll go through some of that, you can send this link that'll be branded to you. They'll push this button here. They'll sign in, and boom, they're into your Zenlist account. And now they're seeing every deal nationwide as if it was branded to you.
Let's go.
Let me go back here. So what are we seeing other wholesalers do with this? Well, some wholesalers are using this as an opportunity to say, hey, I can essentially be a dispo hub for $50 a month nationwide, right? You could start with the buyers, kind of like what was your friend's name you said earlier, Q?
Which
That was
one?
more buyer side. The guy that went totally buy side.
Oh, yeah. I forgot his name, bro.
Yeah. But yeah, so you could be like that guy and go from 5 to 15 contracts a month, just focusing on
Christopher
dispo, because
Crum.
now Christopher, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You could be like Christopher and be able to go straight into the private listing network and move everybody else's deals, right? So something else that's cool, and I don't want to take up too much extra time on this. We can always schedule a call and go through the specifics of it, but you're going to get tons of analytics. So just to give you an example here, if I went to this person right here and I went to client activity, so this is a buyer that's been signed up with you, I'd be able to see what they've been looking at lately. I'd be able to see, what have they clicked on? How long has it been since they've logged back in? I think looks like a new guy, actually, about a month ago. But I can see that now his activity's picking up. So now would probably be a good time to give him a call, right? And actually, I think I remember this one. I think the guy that actually has this buyer had him go to this showing today. So he noticed he was looking at something. He reached out and set up a showing, and I think they're going to end up getting an offer, actually. But the big reason for that to work was simply because you had a peek into all the activity via Zenlist, right? All right, so let me pause. Q, anything that you think I'm missing right now that you think needed to
No,
be
man.
spotlighted?
I will be honest, that's got to be the best I've ever seen you present it in like a 5-minute window. Legit. That was
Yeah, trying
great.
to
That
keep
was
it as
great.
simple as possible.
Guys, so this is a
So
great
a couple
tool.
questions here.
Alex, if you can do me a favor and drop the link for it in the comment section so you guys can just take a look at it. Right now, guys, we have like a concierge service and we have a full-blown like dispo tool practically where you guys can sign up and
Yep.
use it at that level.
Yep. There's two ways to access this. Either A, you can become a patron, which is really what I advise everybody to do. I mean, come on, guys. Where in the world, in the wholesale world, can you do this for $50? I mean, honestly, I would be hard pressed to see you be able to find anything like this that you could do for $50. You could essentially run an entire dispo hub with just this for $50. I mean, to me, that's just outrageous. But just a couple questions that got popped up that I can kill quick. One, Jake asked, do buyers have to pay subscription too? No, it's completely free to them unless you want to, I guess, charge them for entry. That's up to you. But let's see. Joe Lodge asked, how do you avoid multiple people marketing your deal with lots of different pricing? So what's really cool about this is if the deals are only thing we can monitor is what happens in the network, right? Like if anybody can rip anything off of Google or, catch one of your emails and market it somewhere else, there's nothing you can do about that other than maybe watermark your photos, which is something I would say, if you're doing it at a high level, you should consider. But the cool thing about it is in the network, everything the buyers are exclusive for one. So the same buyer shouldn't be seeing your deal over and over again if they're actually shopping in the network, right? So when you sign up, that buyer is only hooked up to one patron member. So that's going to naturally eliminate that. Number two, anything they share is going to be branded to this. They don't have the ability to change the web page. They don't have the ability to change the price. They don't have the ability to change anything that doesn't have access to your account. So someone would have to be a paying member to come in here, rip this out of the network, and basically, for what you're trying to describe, daisy chain it outside the network. Which, at the end of the day, if they're going to pay to do that, I'd be really shocked. But there's nothing you can do about those guys that are going to just rip stuff without permission, right? But
Mhm.
the network does inherently make it more difficult, which I think is the best way to go about it.
I love it, man. This is great. This is great. So, guys, there's a lot that you can do for just very little with this software. You know what I'm saying? So, for y'all that are in here, this is insane. Like, this is a great community type thing that allows for you to joint venture with other people, which is a business model. This is how my guy Christopher went from doing like no deals a month to like 15 plus. I'm being real. All right. And he did it by leveraging his network and bringing the most valuable thing to the table, which was the buyer. You know what I'm saying? Some of us real good at talking to motivated sellers, right? Who here is good at the acquisition side? Really? I know I am. That's my jam. Who here is good at the buyer side specifically, right? If that's you, man, you got a skill set too. But there are times when those two things collide because they're two different types of people that represent two different parts of the transaction, right? And so why not figure out a way to just work with other people? Guys, I'll be honest, I do a lot by myself. I do more because I focused on building community. Literally, community is everything. It's one thing to know the game, it's another thing to give the game. And me doing this, I'm building this community. I want y'all to sign up because you get access to my buyers. I want y'all to close more real estate deals with your boy. We can work all of that out on the other side. You know what I'm saying? But this way, we can make money together. And you can also learn a few things just being inside of the group, joining calls like this. Now, I want to go ahead and I want to jump into this, right? Let's go deeper into um let's go deeper into this process if you guys don't mind. Everybody still with me? What we're going to be talking about now is how do we do this, right? So, the first thing that anyone should do when they start building a buyer's list is begin sanctioning off your investors by investment strategy and their product, right? Guys, when you go to a grocery store, there's like freaking like how many aisles? 25, 28, 30, and each one is has its own product, its own material that a specific buyer can go to and get, right? We should not be operating any differently. Our goal here is to then take our buyers that we have when we build these strategies and we separate them by their investment tactics. So if they're flipping, they're in this category. I know for a fact if I need a cash deal, I need it fast. These guys can typically close. Sometimes they're utilizing different types of funding, right? If it's a buy and hold person, man, I love selling to buy and hold people. Buy and hold people a little bit different. Guys, there's a group of investors that I've worked with for years. And for all of you that want me, I'll just give it to y'all. The company's called Lifestyles Unlimited. Okay. And that's where your boy started. Years ago, when I walked into my first real estate seminar, I was told that I needed thousands of dollars to buy my first house. I did not know what wholesaling was. It was my first time going to anything like this. Your boy just got out of freaking jail for trafficking marijuana. So I had nowhere I didn't know what the hell I was going to do, but I had some money. I had a little bit stashed away. I didn't have 15, 20 grand for the education, but what I did find there was network and community. I would only be able to afford the weekend classes and they hosted them twice every quarter. And so I paid 500 bucks. I went to a weekend class and I got to be able to learn what I was trying to do, which was real estate investing, to get myself out of the trap. I know it's crazy to talk about with all you guys, and I talk about making $1 million 2017, right? That was the year I stopped selling pot. I sold pot while I flipped houses at the same time to fund my real estate business. And when that's all you know, I'm sorry, man. I made some mistakes back then, but I'm not proud of them, but I knew what I had to do. I wasn't hurting nobody. I just knew that I had to pay my bills. And it's hard to break through that thing that's fast money. So I'd close a real estate deal, take what money I made from the real estate deal, go and buy 10 packs so the money would sit there. That's what I would do. And I'd sell it and I'd pay my bills, sell it, pay my bills, fund my real estate business. It wasn't until 2017 that I actually quit doing that, right? It's so funny. I remember I still had like maybe a pound and a half left, and I have this on camera, okay, where I literally film myself flushing it down my apartment toilet. I clogged the toilet, y'all. They had to call someone to put this stupid thing in there to get all the weed out. It's so dumb. This is a real story, by the way, okay? So like I'm telling you guys this now because back then I was learning how to buy properties. I wasn't learning how to wholesale them yet. Okay? So if you guys are looking for people who buy houses at 85, 90 cents on the dollar, rental properties, and you have them in decent B class neighborhoods and up, might be hard to move to like a fix and flip because you might have them too high. Lifestyles Unlimited owns a brokerage. You can't talk to buyers directly. You have to work strictly with an agent. If you talk to a buyer from this pool directly, mind you, these people are average people. They're attorneys, they're doctors, they're freaking, they're craftsmen. They have a practice. They're practitioners. These are people that just worked for 40 to 30 years of their life and saved up a crap ton of money, have deep 401ks, and they're trying to buy real estate rental properties. All right. They will not let you talk to them directly. If they find out that you're talking to them directly, you will be blacklisted from the company. So if you reach out to these people, type in Lifestyles Unlimited near me, and if they have an office in your area, you're welcome. Okay. These people will buy properties to 80 cents, 90 cents on the dollar. Okay. So then I have this group of people who buy rental properties from me. By the way, first wholesale deal that I ever did was like a 90-cent dollar deal, legit, like 90 cents on the dollar deal. I made $2,100, but it was the most amount of money that I ever made legally in my whole life. Everything that I've ever done up to that point was just trap. And so, learning this part was so crucial to me. I worked with the brokerage, and the brokerage would represent the buyer, and then they'd get a portion of my assignment fee plus their 3% commission, which I was still making money, right? Moving some deals rather than moving no deals. They have offices in almost every serious state that does this. So I'd say it'd be even more advantageous for you guys to work those areas as well. But the buy and hold investor, my favorite client. You know what I learned at this buy and hold place? We don't buy properties to make a lot of money right now. We buy a property to make a lot of money later. Because if I'm making $100,000 a year, then my goal is to figure out a way to find a property that's going to replace the income that I'm making here, right? So I gotta literally figure out a way to retire myself. The way that I do that, buying as many rental properties as I can. Come on, guys. If you own 15, 30 properties and they're making you $20,000 a month in passive income, would you really have to work anymore? That, my friends, is what retirement looks like. And that is what the buyers who purchase properties for rental purposes are looking at. They're looking at the equity, they're looking at their lines of credit, they're looking at how much money that they're making every month, and they want to figure out a way to buy more with their time back. Retire in 5 years or less. That's the motto of the company. So guys, I pretty much just gave y'all like really game on that. I've never talked about that openly on a platform, but they buy literally 90% of my deals. Okay. So again, with that being said, you have your rental property buyers. Again, we got our flippers, got our rental guys, and now we have our creative guys. These are the dudes that are like me. If you guys find deals that are subject to creative finance in Texas, Houston, Dallas, Fort Worth, El Paso, Laredo, I'm there in all markets. I will buy those houses from you. I'll send you a picture of my bank account so you know I'm real. But I love buying sub twos, dude. Sub twos are my thing. Those transactions are a little bit different. I don't allow assignments for sub two. You sell a sub two to me, you're passing it along, and I'm cutting you out the back. I'll give you a marketing fee for passing me along that property. Be careful assigning sub twos. There are some big people in this world right now that are promoting that. Don't do that. There's too much legalities involved. I would recommend that if you convinced a seller to allow you to take over payments on their property, you be that person that's at fault, not your investor. Know a lot of people that try to sell a sub two to somebody who's never owned a sub two before, and then the note gets called due. Guess what happens when that happens? You're dragged into the lawsuit too, man. You're the one who facilitated that. You're the one who created that agreement. So to save all of you guys thousands of dollars in attorney fees and possibly staying out of jail, I'd recommend that all of you guys that are in this pass along your sub twos to a buyer that you know and love and trust. Okay. I'll never cut y'all out of a deal. We do a sub two, I'm gonna pay you for it, but it's gonna be a marketing fee attached to closing. We'll sign a marketing fee agreement, not an assignment of contract. Just speaking this from experience because I've gone through this before selling a sub two deal. Now, how else can we find these types of deals? Well, again, what we want, guys, is to understand how to qualify our buyers too, right? So again, we got our creative buyers. We got our people that are buying for long-term purposes. Then we have our people that are just buying for straight flips, right? So these are like the three categories. Now, all three types of buyers, in my opinion, whether they're creative, whether they're using financing, whether they're buying long-term, or whether they're holding it to flip, all of these different types of investors all have different strategies as to how they deploy their capital into real estate. Some of them do this for land, some of them do it for oil, some of them do it for single family, some of them do it for commercial, some of them do it for industrial, some of them looking at big business buildings and different ways to convert them, apartment complex buildings, different ways to convert them, right? So then how do we know this stuff? We start by building out a Rolodex. Guys, you know, I think one of my favorite wealthy people of all times, John D. Rockefeller, right? And Rockefeller was said that when he passed away, he had this giant Rolodex of people that he met that were investors, and he kept all their contact information on these cards. Who here is old enough to know what a freaking Rolodex is? I'll tell you right now, my pops had one. Okay. So I'm 35. I know for a fact that my dad, he was like 50, 60 when he had all these different cards with people's information on it. And I was just like, yo, this is crazy. You realize cell phones exist, right? And you can create contact info in that now. But, you know, people, you know what I'm saying? It's just a cool thing. If you see one, you may be talking to a dinosaur. I'm kidding. But when I looked at these things, right, and I'm just like, wow, right? So John D. Rockefeller had every single valuable, meaningful relationship that he ever had written on cards. That's how you want to be able to track your buyer strategies. How many of these people have these specific questions drawn out? Okay, this guy's price range is between 90 to 150,000. Typically what he likes to buy. How's he doing this time wise? Does he need a week, 2 weeks? Is he borrowing? What is his funding source? Does he have private money, hard money? Is he utilizing maybe like a HELOC? Is he purchasing a property from or maybe doing like a 1031, so liquidating one asset, bringing it into mine? These are questions to ask your buyer, right? Now, how do we source these guys? We source them very easily, tapping into Privy, working with other people's investors through JV deals. We can export properties that have been sold on the market from the MLS. How many people here have a freaking realtor that they can connect with right now that'll give them access to a list of properties that are investment deals that have sold recently? Imagine getting a list of realtors that were representing investors. Now you can work with the realtors and make money doing that. You guys can join Wholesaling 101. You can take my buyers list. You guys can join Facebook groups, going to networking events, meetups. These are all different ways that you guys can go about building out your Rolodex of investors that are purchasing properties at a fast rate, at a fast pace nationwide. Okay. And so once we go into this, what does the checklist look like? Screenshot this part right here. Okay. Number one, we need a copy of their name or their LLC name. All right. We need to have that. Number two, we need their email and phone number. Get that, guys. Get that. They need to get emailed and text every single time you got a deal. Number three, you need their buy box, location, price, property type. Number four, I don't care who you are, man. And I hate this because I've met some investors that are afraid of this. If they're serious, they have no problem showing you their account, y'all. None whatsoever. Literally. So, guys, earlier today, I just want to throw this out there. Okay. I'm getting my hair cut, as y'all can see. I think it looks good. I'm getting my hair cut, right? I'm looking fly like I always do. I'm sitting in my barber's chair. He's kind of a weirdo and a pervert, but I love talking to him. And as I'm talking to him, he's asking me about my real estate business, right? And so I'm just talking about real estate while I'm sitting in the chair. He's cutting me up, getting my fade like I usually do. Every week I'm here. And so he's just like, you know, talking to me about real estate. The guy next to me said, "Oh man, you're in real estate?" And I said, "Yeah." And he's just like, "Dude, that's awesome. How'd you get into that?" So then I start going into my whole story. Obviously, I'm a talker. I don't know if you guys can tell. Just love a good conversation. Can't help it. I'm like a storyteller too. It's just fun. And so like I'm talking to this dude, chopping up with him. He's just like, "So, bro, random, right? But I own three properties. I've worked in the military. I'm retired military. I'm 29 years old. I got in when I was 17, got out when I was 27, 10 years in the military, right? So he got a job working in the base, makes good money, about $100,000 a year, bought three properties utilizing his VA loan. If you guys are active military here and you're not using your VA loan benefits, bro, right now is the time to deploy. You could be owning three properties right now, each of them duplexes, triplexes, quadplexes, living in one and renting out the other units. Like there's so much that you can do with your VA loan benefits. Don't sleep on that. For all my people that are military here, thank y'all for serving this amazing country. God bless you. God bless our troops. Now, moving into this, right? I'm talking to the guy, and he's just like shooting me the address to his dad's house. And I said, what happened? He was like, well, my dad died and my sister stole everything that he had and I won in court and the house is mine now. I have the will in my name. And so we just got all that finalized. I just got done doing the eviction. My sister's about to get kicked out of the property next Wednesday. I'm gonna sell this thing as is, man. He was asking me for $90,000, and this was earlier, right? And so, guys, I'm just letting y'all know there ain't no cap in my game. I'm gonna show y'all this. So this is my guy messaging me the address to the house. Oh, dang. Hold on. Let me turn off. Or dang. Let me see. Can you guys see? Ah, no. Okay, there it is. Right. Send me the photos, pictures, right? So I'm like going through these, right? Scrolling up. He tells me his whole life story. I know you guys can't see it, right? But I told him, I was like, bro, I put my money where my mouth is. I know you guys can't see this right here, but this, I mean, it's a screenshot of my bank account just cuz I'm gonna show you what I got so that you know I ain't lying. You know what I mean? Dude, within 5 minutes, he calls me back. He's like, what's the best that you can do? Because I went over there to go look at it, and his sister ran me off of the property. Neighbor was like sitting there with his arms closed, looking at me all judging because I'm dressed just like this. You know what I'm saying? And so he was like, what's the most that you can do, bro? I need to get this things off my hands. I said, I'll do 70,000. He said, can you meet me in the middle? I said, what's the middle? He's like, can you meet me at 80? I said, no, I can't. I can do 75, maybe. And so, yeah, he said, all right, I'll take 75. And I said, you know what? 72,500. That was too easy. He's like, okay, 72,500 and you teach me real estate. I said, deal. So yeah, he's joining my free communities now, y'all. Like, come on. I'm gonna flip this dude's house and teach him how to do it. Fair trade for me. This is an easy deal. This house is worth almost 220 grand. Guys, I got a buyer for it already at like 215. This is like an easy 50, 40K spread and it's a very simple deal, right? And so again, utilizing your buyer pool, knowing when people are buying properties in a specific time, place, specific area is all very important because then you just know who to call. So there's a local guy here, okay? His name's Sam. Really love him to death. If y'all don't know that name, Sam Madrid. He's a great friend of mine. You guys can look him up, add him on Facebook. He has been buying properties since the 70s. How I found him was the weirdest deal. I didn't even know who he was. I was selling a property to his daughter. So, crazy story. And again, I know that again, when I teach guys, y'all are with me. We're sitting like in a campfire right now. So I hope y'all don't mind because everything I got is game. I promise you. You know, so like Sam, good friend of mine, right? Before I met him, I met his daughter. Her name was Madison. And so crazy story. I went to a tattoo parlor shop often to hang out with my boy Rudy, who was a tattoo artist there. And I go over there, I'd go see him. He had a best friend named Jason. Jason was a heroin addict. It is what it is. He snorted it while he was there. And so he would do tattoos and he'd be all geeked out. Never really talked to the guy, but he always would show me, like, see me coming up. You know what I'm saying? So, like 2015, I started going to tattoo shop. 2017, I'm all of a sudden driving nice cars and dressing up in suits. Like a 2 year shift in my life. And he was just like, Q, what is it that you do, bro? Literally just wired, right? And I'm just like, I flip houses, bro. I wholesale. And it's like, what do I got to do that? And I said, you just got to go out, knock on a bunch of doors, and find somebody who wants to sell their property, and then bring it to me when you're done. And so my dude did just that. He did not hesitate. My guy had more action than most people on this call. I'm just saying. And so Jason was his name, went around the whole neighborhood of San Antonio, knocking on every single person's door that had a crappy looking property with overgrown grass, asking them if they wanted to sell their property. Well, within 2 days' time, my dude found one, brought it to me, asked me if I could help him fill out the contract. We filled out the contract. By the time we were done closing on that deal, we made $30,000. We split it down the middle, 15-15. Okay. This whole deal was done within a 2 week time period. I was honestly impressed, really, because I was just like, wow, this guy really took my advice and ran with it. Mind you, I didn't tell him to do anything crazy. I'm speaking at an event, right? Big time. I had already made the news. People loved me. I'm like, well, people still love me apparently. Hope you guys love me. But I'm like on the news. People know me in San Antonio. I'm getting invited to speak at all these real estate events. While I'm speaking on an event, guess what happens, y'all? On stage, in front of a few hundred people, I got served. And I looked at the lawsuit and I said, who the heck is this guy? And why is Jason's name on this thing? And why are we going through a lawsuit? Mind you, it had already been 4 months after the fact. I get a call from my friend Madison. Madison's like, hey, Q, we got to reverse this whole thing. I said, what happened? And this is the craziest thing that could ever go down in a real estate deal. It's not even the craziest situation I've ever been in, but this is one of them. I have crazy real estate stories. This is one of them. So Jason took the contract, had the seller sign it. And then when it was time to close, the seller didn't want to close. So Jason cornered this dude in a hotel, paid a hooker to sleep with this man in exchange for his signature, while homeboy stood there and watched it happen with a gun in his hand. That's what the lawsuit said. And I'm somehow attached to this. And so in my head, I called Jason. I said, bro, what did you do, bro? And he was like, oh man, I already spent all the money. So I'm just going to let these people sue me. It is what it is. You can handle it, Q. Never put drug addicts on to doing the game. 9 times out of 10 is the worst decision that you can do. Guys, remember this always. Look at people for what they show you, not what they just tell you. Okay. And that's the reality of it. I love business. I've met some great people in business. This guy could have been one of them, but this was also one of those people where I just figured if I saw some of me in him, the addiction that I used to have, I saw in him. So I wanted to help him, right? And by the end of the day, man, you might be pouring into the wrong person. Let me tell you something about money. If you are already a piece of crap person, money's going to make you a worse person. Money is an amplifier. And that's what happened to this dude. It just made him worse. My dude had bought brand new tires for his truck, took his daughter to a cheer competition, spent 5 grand on that, and bought himself a brand new Rolex and a gold chain. He blew the whole bag in literally like a day after getting paid. And so I asked him, I said, bro, we got to pay these people back. He said, you deal with it. My dude didn't show up to a single court date. Man, I get a call, right? So Madison's dad, Sam, my friend Sam, okay? I'm just letting y'all know these are the relationships that your boy got. He calls me and he's like, hey, Quentin, mind you, this is like the Godfather calling you, okay? He's like, I heard about what happened between you and my daughter. It's unfortunate. I said, yeah, dude, I don't know what I'm going to do, man. And he's like, I don't know what you're going to do either, but I know you're going to make it right. And in my head, I'm just like, whoa, okay. Was that like a nice threat? Or what am I like, you know what I mean? In my head, I was like, there's just no way, right? And so Sam was like, I know you'll make it right, Q. We'll talk here in a few weeks. And then he hung up on me. Didn't even give me a chance to say bye. And so it was in that moment, I knew I was in over my head. Guys, I was able to wholesale a deal within like a week to get the money to pay that back. And then we reversed the entire deal. I paid back the debt from Jason, paid back the debt from myself, and I was out of it. And let me tell you something about Sam. He has supported me through every single thing that I have ever done. Sam comes to my events. Sam sponsors my events. Sam will give me money just to pay for marketing. Sam will come by and just bless my office and pray over it, bro. Like Sam is that dude. And that's a connection that I keep like this. So I called Sam today. I haven't talked to him in like, I don't know, 3 months. I don't do a lot of business in San Antonio anymore. A lot of the deals that I do now are with my students in the communities that I'm giving you guys access to. And so, it's just so crazy. But I called Sam and he's like, how are you, Q? And I was like, I got a property for you, man. He was like, well, where is it? Send up the address. Guys, he went over there, already offered me a buck 20 for it. Ain't that something? But let me tell you guys something about this though, man. This is why doing the right thing will always be the best thing. For anybody that is in here dealing with a lot of money, sometimes as human beings, we fall to greed, which is sinful. And when we live that way, let me tell you something, there's separation between you and the kingdom. There's separation between you and living in kingdom principles. And guys, I'm telling y'all right now, you block your blessings by looking at every single transaction like it's going to be a last one. You can't do that because then you're living in a very frugal and a very survival based mindset, which those two words don't go in hand, okay? Legitimately. And so just kind of be wary of that. If you got a buyer that you work with, do right by your buyers every single time, even if it means you going to court and losing some money. But that's a real story, y'all. Like legitimately, I've went through that. That was horrible. We reversed the entire sale of the house. They dropped the lawsuit against me. Jason has a default judgment against him and his properties. It's a crazy thing, bro. You know what I'm saying? So if you're going to be doing business, especially with people that have lots of money, I promise you there is an ocean of that amount of money out there, but that's not to mean that it's there for the taking. You got to do everything that you can to create reoccurring clients for your business. The more good deals that you send out, man, dude, a wholesaler get wiped out real easy, dog, just trying to push bad properties. Ain't nobody gonna buy from you if you got a crap product, dude. I recognize that when I tried shortcutting the distance from where I was at and where I wanted to go in the trap game, dog. Legit. I remember one time I got offered like 10 pack for like 500, $600 and I bought it and it was the worst stuff that you could ever buy. I sold a couple of ounces of that to some friends and they just didn't want to talk to me anymore after that. So your quality of your product is a representation of who you are. So always remember that, okay? If you're gonna try to shortcut that and then or move a crappy deal and push that out there, thinking that you can just get it moved, I promise you, if you have to force it to be a deal, it's not a deal. If you have to send it out to a whole buyer and you're afraid because you can't find an investor, you don't have a good deal. Because if it was a good deal, you wouldn't struggle to sell it. That's the reality of it. Legitimately, get that through y'all's heads for all of my people in here that do this business. It's not that there's a buyer for every deal, it's that there's a good deal for a good buyer. That's the premise that I'm trying to talk about here. Okay. So going into this, right? Again, this is your checklist. Have all of this information so that you can shortcut the distance from where you're at right now and where it is that you want to go when you start doing Dispo. Now, for my people that are here, running comps is so imperative. As you begin going through this whole process of wholesaling houses, your comping and your numbers are going to be a part of your product. So, what are some great tools that we can use to get comps for our deals? Now, for all my people in Texas, non-disclosure states alike, I use a bunch of different softwares. I'm going to name them here in a minute, but just so that we all get an idea, we go a half mile to a quarter mile, mile radius max. Sold within the last 6 months. We ought to make sure that we're looking at our bedroom bathroom ratio, square footage, everything's there. Red flags, active solds and actives instead of solds, outdated comps, or high days on market. If you have any of those things, you already know that you have a bad product. You already know that you're in an area that you shouldn't be marketing in. It's part of the game. So understand that, okay? Now, what does this look like? How should you be packaging these things up? Every single deal that you move should have photos, you should have a repair estimate, you should have comps, you should have your assignment, you should have access info, and anything miscellaneous. I use urgency, highest and best, due by 5 p.m., showing tomorrow only. Get people in there, but understand this, right? The quality of the product. The more information that you have, the better. Closing timeline. What type of people are your sellers? Are you dealing with a probate issue, affidavit of heirship issue? Sometimes, guys, you'll try to assign a deal that you're still getting clear title from. I don't ever market a deal to a buyer until I get clear title because I don't want to get a buyer on the hook when I don't even have the fish caught. You know what I'm saying? And that's the reality of it. You want to make sure that title's clear prior to selling your real estate deal. Because what if you couldn't get clear title and your buyer already put up the money? They're already allocating the funds to purchase it. They're already getting their rehab teams up there to get ready to renovate the property. They're asking you to pay for surveys. They're asking you to pay for an appraisal. They're asking you to add all of these things to the closing timeline of it, and you don't even have clear title. Make sure that your deals, before you send them out, that you're able to curate title. Give your sellers a realistic timeline, especially if you're going to be doing wholesale, period. If I'm wholesaling a deal, 4 weeks. You could say 2 weeks to get a contract signed, but you're doing predatory business doing that if you know for a fact it's going to take 2 weeks just for you to get clear title. Especially when you're dealing with heirship opportunities or you're dealing with any type of probate, liens, judgments, active list pendants. Every type of deal that you can think of has a timeline. Guys, in anything that you do, when you wholesale, proper preparation prevents poor performance. The more information that you give your seller, the easier that it's going to be for you to disposition the deal. It's a team effort. There's so many like holes in this business and so many service parts of the company as you begin to structure all of this, whether you're doing this systematically or what. I'm telling you right now, it's better when everyone's on the same page. If you're wholesaling it, give yourself a proper time frame. Don't do the 2 weeks just to get a contract signed, man. Be real. Give yourself 4 to 6. 4 to 6. It's the easiest way to do it. 2 weeks to clear title, 2 weeks to find a buyer, 2 weeks to close. Gives you plenty of time. Now, if you can get it done faster, well, that's because you have your process ironed out and you can begin doing this volume based, right? But I'm recommend anybody here. I reckon that all of you guys that are here, y'all make sure that you give yourself a proper timeline to get a property sold, okay? And your seller will love you for it because you're not, how do you say, over promising and then under delivering. Come on, man. Can I get an amen? Who here wants to under promise, over deliver? That's what we want. Drop an amen in the comments if you hear what I'm saying. Again, guys, you set the premise for what that looks like. This is the assignment formula. It's fire, guys. Always use an assignment of contract or JV agreement. Okay. Both of these things are different. Assignment agreement is between you and your buyer. Your seller never has to see that. JV agreements between you and the wholesaler. And for everybody that's on this call, y'all want to do me a favor? Leave a review on the Facebook group that you're in. Drop a review of what you're learning today and be honest about it. Send me a screenshot of your post, tag me in it, and I'll send you a copy of my JV agreement and my assignment of contract so you guys can have it. Okay? So that's what I'm going to give for y'all today. Number one, once we get the paperwork signed, this is very, 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 very important. Now, this can work two ways. Most people don't do this, but I want y'all to understand this. And I think that this is important for everybody here. I learned this from an attorney. An assignment of contract is an agreement between you and the buyer, it is not a purchase agreement. So the idea that earnest money should be involved is really not true. Earnest money is the amount of money that you give to somebody to solidify a purchase and sale agreement. An assignment is a service. I am selling this person a piece of paper, not the house. The house is what's attached to that paper. So, earnest money deposit, EMD, is a representation of a solidified contract to purchase a piece of real estate. Most people don't know this. But again, for my people that are doing this, I would recommend going two ways. A non refundable deposit can either be paid to you up front or it can be given to the title company. A lot of times the title company is going to want to hold things like that. That's completely fine. But again, I just want y'all to know that a non-refundable deposit is different. It is a credit to the actual assignment. Now, in my company, I pull those up front. I pull them up front, but I also have a lot of liquidity. I have a lot of liquidity, so it's different. I can afford to pay them back. Some of us, we don't do that. The moment the money comes in, go and blow it, spend it, and then the buyer decides to back out. Then you try to keep the freaking deal. Or you try to keep the deposit. Don't do that. Okay. But if you have liquidity, open up an escrow account. That's where the money stays. And when the property closes, you get the rest of the money at closing. But that's different. Okay. Now, a lot of times the buyer might not be okay with submitting the funds to you directly. That's fine. That's honestly because they don't know you. When they start to know you, they'll become more accustomed to the things that you do. But if you want to get a buyer real comfortable with you, allow for those deposits to be held at the title company until close. As long as the title company got them, then you know you got a buyer on the hook. And if the buyer backs out, well, then your contract should have specific verbiage in it where they relinquish that deposit and it pays you for your time. Okay? So just understand that. You guys can get a copy of my extensive assignment of contract agreement and also my JV agreement so y'all can start marketing to your wholesalers or to your investment buyers whenever you're selling your real estate deals. So all you got to do, leave me a review in the group, tag your boy, send me a screenshot of what you posted, and I'll give you a copy of it. Let's get back into this. Now, again, control communication at all times. How do you do that? How do you do that? Now, for all of my people here, okay, and this is something else that I'll give to y'all. I have this thing, it's called a non-circumvention agreement. If you want to be on my buyers list, you sign one. For y'all that don't know what non-circumvention is, it's basically a contract between you and your investor where essentially it allows for you to have full exclusivity to your seller and the buyer cannot circumvent you and go direct, which has happened to me a lot. Man, I'll tell you, dude, I doing JV and in like all 50 states, you run into this where the buyer, they'll say that they're cool, they sign all the paperwork, and then they go direct to the seller. Then they tell the seller what's going on, and the communication wasn't there on the front end because I'm dealing with a wholesaler that doesn't know what the hell he's doing. Just found a property, got it signed. Freaking seller thinks that he's buying it, wasn't being transparent, right? And then what happens? The buyer went and he talked to the seller, said, "Hey, these guys are sending me your property, and there's a markup. They're saying that they're asking me more than what you're telling me, right? That's not okay. That's not okay. You're offering a service. Anybody who is greedy does that. But I'm sorry, but if you're going to be doing this business, again, I would say, some people would say, watch out for snakes. You're in the jungle. I would say, expect snakes, dude. You're in the jungle. Why would you not be in the jungle and not expect for these things to happen? It happens. So, how do you avoid that? Same way you would wear boots, right? Boots protect you from the snake. Non-circumvention agreement. So if you guys want a copy of my non-circumvention agreement, it's very simple. I'll give you guys a copy of it if you're inside of the Dispo Lab group or the Wholesaling Houses 101. I'll upload it and I'll add it to the files there. So guys, make sure y'all get into those free communities. They're there for you. And if you're watching this on the record, I'll just say I'll drop the link for that in the comment section. Okay. So again, use JV only if one party brings a buyer and the other has a deal. All right. So if you're the seller, If you're the person who's in contact with the seller, sign a JV with your person who's bringing you a buyer. If you're the person who has the buyer and you're working with somebody who has the contract for the seller, then boom, you can have that person sign the JV agreement and you're bringing the buyer. It's all the same. Whether you're bringing the seller, you're bringing the buyer, it's all the same. I like doing 50-50. That's how I like to do it. Some people like saying 70-30, 80-20, 85-25. I'm a 50-50 dude. If I'm doing half the work and making sure that my buyer can close and you're using my network that I've spent thousands of dollars on, then I would argue that I am entitled to half of the money because your work in acquisition, that's 50% your problem. I'm handling the buyer, that's 50% my problem. And lo and behold, a lot of people would agree, some people might disagree. I think it's an art form to have a buyer's network. It really is. And when you're able to really tap into it, man, you can make a lot of money just having great buyers in great areas. Now, running comps like a deal scientist. What does this really look like here? Comps, again, is short for comparables. This tells you what properties have sold for. This is the lifeline of the business right here, man. As you begin progressing through your company, it's imperative that you understand what comps are. Now, comps, again, for y'all that don't know, I'll say this again, it's an art form. Everybody runs comps differently, dude. Everybody runs comps differently. I can show you all the way I like to do it, but I can also just tell you it's going to take a lot of time. And that's just the reality of it. It is difficult to run comps in specific markets. You have to know what it is that you're looking for. I'll showcase one of my houses that I flipped a while ago to give y'all an idea what this looks like. This is a software that I use. It's called Propelio. Propelio is a Texas-based software. They're based out in Fort Worth, and they're MLS. They're true MLS access. A lot of people say they're MLS, but they don't actually have access to the MLS. So this is where you can get property data everywhere. Now, not everywhere, but in main places. You can actually look up what different brokerages that they have in different states. I mean, they have Florida. I know they have North Carolina. I know they have Georgia. I also know that they have Texas, right? They have Arkansas. So a couple of places. This is one of my houses that I flipped years ago. It's 5103 Cinderella. There it is, 78219. So clicking on this is going to allow for me to come in here and pull up the property address. That's my baby. That's what I did to her right there. You guys like them warm colors? It was the middle of fall, so it was perfect. I did all of that. I laid the tile down, the paint scheme, everything. Warm colors throughout. Very simple. Kept these the same color. I felt in my head that this would look better. I added the backsplash here, which is very simple. I got that from Floor and Decor for like pennies. Brand new appliances throughout the property. This area right here was an addition to the home that added like an additional 700 square feet. There was a little bit of foundation issues here around the fireplace. For y'all that might not know, fireplaces are the biggest headaches to renovate in whenever you're fixing up a property. Main reason why, because it's like taking a giant block and then putting it in one side of the house that's stuck into the ground. Okay, it basically takes the entire property with it. So there was a huge dent around the floor right here, right? It wasn't too noticeable, but I knew that it would probably get kicked back to me on the inspection. So what I did was I ripped open the floors. I used cement, leveling cement, and we just kind of paved our way over it to make the foundation right again. I had a guy put one of those little foundation piers underneath it and push it up. So we dug into the floor, then we covered it. Then I added tile over. Then we added the carpet because this was like a chill room. But I love this little part at the top right here. I thought that was the most beautiful part of the house. So that's kind of like what the end result looked like. Can't even tell if there was ever a foundation issue. And then moving on to all of this, you can kind of see it from every angle. Some of the bedrooms, guest bathroom, master bathroom. I mean, this was a beautiful home, right? On top of that, man, there was a detached garage that was attached. So they built this stuff and added it to the main property. And the backyard was also pretty huge too. But yeah, man, I mean, big house, wrap around, corner lot crib. People loved it. It was great. I bought this property for about $53,000. I put 26 grand into it and I sold it for 156,000. Now this house, look what it's worth. I just want to show y'all like what freaking appreciation can do. I go to comp sales here and let's just kind of jump into that. See that? They bought it for 150. Well, it's 157, but I guess they'll say 150, whatever. So again, we're going to go and let's say do this. These are your defaults. You always want when you run comps to go 5 years back, 5 years forward, one bathroom less, one bathroom more, one bedroom less, one bedroom more, 20% less of square footage, 20% more of square footage, and the same applies to the lot. So just by applying defaults, this list is gonna really get kind of like boiled down, right? Guys, this is a 4 bedroom, 3 bath. Look at this right here. This 3-2 sold for $223,000. Let's go back 1 year. Two listings, a buck 30, 210. What did this one sell for? 132. These must have been as is. Oh, dang, look at that. 233. That's what I like to see. I think it's safe for us to assume, just based on this here. I mean, look at that. I mean, I must say thumbs up on that property for sure. Then scrolling back, we have this one for 182. Pretty much like the same style house, really. I'm a thumbs up on that one as well. And then kind of like, let's see, maybe we can go out a little bit more. Let's go out like a mile and see what we can find. Just cause I'm just playing around right now, guys. Like honestly, I would never go out a mile. I would want to stay in my neighborhood. So like that's kind of like what you're seeing. So I mean, I found like two solid comps that I could go off of, and it's all within this same neighborhood. So I'm just gonna keep what I got on this. So now that we have what we have, we kind of want to get an idea of what our property would look like. So again, we have our property here, clicking on that, and based on the comps that we put up, we thumbs up two comps, active 42 days on the market. I'm so proud of that. It's so crazy. Okay, let's see. Broker Norma, that's my girl right here. I love Norma. She helps me out with everything. It's also imperative, guys, that you get realtors to represent you on these flips that are real estate investors. I think that that's probably one of the most valuable things that I could probably mention. Click on this here. You see how it kind of drags out view CMA property reports. So again, like we kind of thumbs up some houses here. Let's ask for a report. So based on the values of the houses that we found recently, 242,000 is our average price per square foot based on the two comps that we pulled. Look at that. Man, I wish I would have kept this thing. It would have been a home run right now. I would have made over 100 G's on this property. So this will give you an idea. On the low end, you can get 180. On the mid end, you'll get 237. On the high end, you'll get 286. And so, guys, you can actually print this report if you want. If I click this little print button here, what I would do if I was like, if I was doing Dispo with you guys, I would have this. Man, I mean, this right here is valuable. This is a full-blown comp report. Add this to what you sell so that your buyers can see that. Save it. Boom. Now we got our comp report saved. Screen just shut down. It's there. Go back. We could probably see it in like downloads or something. It's all good. But now I have a comp report like in 5 seconds. You can use comping in multiple different types of softwares. There's PropStream, there's Batch Leads, there's Deal Machine, there's Propelio, there's PropWire, there's all these different tools. And if you can't afford any of those things, Zillow's pretty accurate right now. I hate that I can say that now. It's crazy, but I used to say Zillow was trash. Zillow, Redfin, Trulia, Realtor.com, you can run comps on these places now. So it's not like you need a paid software, but I like using this one because I know I'm using the MLS when I have it. Okay. So going back into our, let's say, presentation, running comps is imperative for a lot of reasons. Number one, we want to make sure that we have the value. Number two, we want to make it competitive so we can get multiple offers. Number three, we want to show the buyers the value of our house. And number four, we can prevent sending out bad deals. Guys, that's the main reason why I wanted to show you guys this. Now, PropStream, Deal Machine, Propelio, Batch Leads, I have affiliate links for all these softwares that give you free stuff. So Alex, if you're in here, if you can do me a favor, go on ahead and drop all of the links to these different comping tools so that you guys can try them. I mean, they all come with like a 7-day free trial, $25, $30 worth of marketing credits. Some of them come with unlimited skip tracing. Each of these different platforms will allow you to assess a property differently. Find one that you like and run with it. You don't have to just use the ones that I'm recommending, but these are some of the ones that I use in my own business. Okay. So going into this again, tools to use to run comps, batch leads, PropStream, Zillow. You can use Zillow as well. Went into this just so that we have, well, you know what? Actually, it's worth screenshotting. Everybody take a screenshot real fast so that we have this. Property details, bed, bath, square footage, lot size, year built, property condition, location. Next one here, inputting the address, opening up your comp tool. I kind of just showed you guys how I did it. Analyze the data. You want to get at least 3 in each one. Adjust for condition. So kind of the same thing I just showed you guys, and then creating the deal reaction. So this is how I like to do it. Man, this is fire, y'all. This is fire. Screenshot this. So this is it. Number 1, Dispo checklist. What are we getting? Photos, repair estimate, comp report, access, instructions, price. Marketing, texting, email, posting, Craigslist, joining Privy, how to pre-frame and negotiate, position the deal as time sensitive and high value, set expectations, price each individual one firmly, and make sure that you get your deposits, guys. And then always, always frame negotiation around value and speed, not just price. To me, man, I like delivering a solid product. I want my buyer, if he wants to buy it, to be able to buy it and to be able to buy it quickly. So that just comes with all the prerequisite information that we talked about at the beginning. Make sure that you have everything together. Now, this is for JVing. Now, this is real cool. I love this. So this is outline roles, who has the deals, who brings the buyer, agree on the assignment. We talked about this earlier, just kind of going over this. Market your deal using Privy. Now, have we already done that, Cam? Just want to make sure. Like, I know we showcased Privy at the beginning, but did you show how we're using it, like to showcase the deals across the country?
Yeah, so basically it'll be through that landing page, which we could revisit either now or whenever we talk about the big
Let,
challenge we're going to launch.
let's do that. Let's do that. I want people to see what we're talking about.
Okay, 1 second.
All right, guys, this is fire. This is fire. This is going to be Privy in action right now. Like, this is dope. Here, Cam, let me pin you real fast.
Yeah, here we go. All right, can you guys see this?
I can see it.
Cool. So I'm back on my sample account here. So basically, the way the deals are going to get distributed is you would take a listing, right? So let's just say we listed this one right here. And as soon as you list it, everybody in the entire system, every wholesaler's buyer that gets added to the network in ZenList is going to get this right here. So this is what they're going to get now. How are they going to get it? Number one, they're going to get it through a email alert that's through ZenList, and it's going to be, again, branded to you, right? So we talked about that earlier. This is where this branded page comes in that I showed you earlier. Number two, they're going to get a push notification, which to me is one of the best things about ZenList is they're going to have an actual app that they download your position as the expert, and then they're going to get a ping on there that says, hey, you've got a deal that matches your buy box, right? So whenever you add these buyers, they can either A, upload their own buy box, or B, you upload their buy box for them, which is what we recommend because usually you'll do it a lot faster than they will. And that way, every time a deal anywhere in the nation by any wholesaler in the nation that's part of the network is listed, your buyers are getting dinged too, right? So they're going to get the push notification, the email alert for every single save search that hits their criteria, no matter if you listed it or not. And they're going to get it just like this, branded to you. Whoops, I tapped it too quick. Branded to you. That way you're the point of contact the entire time. What's super cool is even on the marketing side of it is you're going to get a chat feature. So the buyers can actually chat directly to you, right? So these are people that are in the sample account that just can actually send you the deal, or you can send them the deal, and so you can actually get all your communication right here. So they can ping you at any time to say, "I want to take a look at this house, that house, whatever deal they want to take a look at." We already talked about kind of how the client activity can be shown, so we talked about that. But yeah, that's pretty much the quick down and dirty on it is that they're going to be able to get a push notification and email alert totally branded to you. So the idea is you didn't have to do any of that. If you listed a deal, the deal alerts and everything went out already. If anybody else in the entire nation that's a patron listed a deal, it did it too. And you didn't have to have any MailChimp account or anything like that. It just happened. So honestly, you can kind of put it on autopilot if you ask me. Does that answer your question, Quentin?
Yes, sir. I'm back. Give me just a second. Okay.
Oh, you're good.
Now, I want to open this up for discussions, guys, because we have something to talk about today and really just Cameron and I got an announcement. This is going to be dope. But before we go into that, based on this whole process, as you know, obviously we've been doing this, right? For all of you guys that are maybe having struggles in disposition, if anyone here has any questions, let's open this up so that Cam and I can address some of your struggles that y'all might be having in your current operation. And I like doing this popcorn style or comment style. So you can make a comment in the comment section, we'll see it, right? Or you can unmute yourself and ask us a question because we have a big announcement, but I wanted to leave at least 10 minutes. I'm going to set a timer. Hey Siri, set a timer for 10 minutes. We're going to do 10-minute Q&A. All right, guys. So if you're ready, unmute yourself and ask a question now.
This is Ben. I got a question.
What's up, Ben?
Not much. I'm the one that won the free deal machine from you, and it's been awesome. Uh,
Dude, let's go.
yeah, we're already on the Privy network and everything. We had a question, Patrick and I. Y'all mentioned uploading buy boxes for buyers, like us doing it ourselves. Would that be us saving searches under our own profile and then assigning them to the buyer, or can we save a search for the buyer, like to their own profile? How does that work?
Yeah, so you can save a search to the buyer. I'm actually going to show you right now. That way you'll know exactly what to do, and then everybody else can watch it in action too. How's that?
Fantastic. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah. So let me go to the sample account. Let me find a client here. Y'all able to see this screen? You able to see this, Ben?
All right. Yes.
All right, good. So right here at the top right-hand side of the screen, you're going to see Save Searches. You can click Add. And just like that, I'm going to basically create the search with my filters, city, state, property type, beds, baths, the whole shebang. There's a ton of filters in here, so it can be as simple or as complicated as it needs to be. And once you do that, you're going to click Save Search, and boom, you're done. They're going to get notifications forever for that buy box.
How do we assign that specific save search to a specific buyer, I guess, if they haven't onboarded directly with us, if we're just uploading their buy box, per se? Like,
Yep.
or
So the practical
I'm not sure I'm
use
asking
case,
that right.
No, I understand. The practical use case and what our workflow is, hey, we've got you added. You didn't upload your buy box. We've noticed that because you're not getting the notification, and we're tracking that whenever we're looking at our, our reports. And so we have went in there and set that up for you because we just called you and asked you, hey, where do you buy? What's your price range? Do you have a certain buy box? And then we just create it for you because essentially, these guys are kind of all over the place, right? So you can either try to coax them to do it, or you can just simply do it for them. What we do is we actually set up with, and actually you can do this with Jarvis too, is we set up an auto text that a Zapier, whenever someone joins Zenlist, sends a webhook to our account that's like Jarvis's, and it will automatically send a text that says, hey, thank you so much for finally joining. Do you care to go ahead and text me your buy box so that I can update our system? By the way, here's a video to teach you how to create your own save searches.
Okay. That was our next thing we were going to do, is make some videos.
Yep. And if you go to our playlist on YouTube, so if you were to just look up, you might be able to find it because we don't do a lot of YouTube content, but we still have a channel there. But I can always send it to you. You can message me on school.
Sure.
I'll just send you our playlist, and there's tons of videos there that you can actually share with your buyers.
Oh, perfect. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
Fire.
Yep. So a lot of that content already exists for you.
Perfect.
Patrick, you had a question, bro?
I do, actually. So when it comes to working with other wholesalers and getting their deals on the network, I'm familiar with a JV agreement. I was wondering if inside of Zenlist, or if Cameron has one that he uses already, if there's some sort of intake form we can use to work with other wholesalers.
Like a non-circumvention agreement for your wholesaler?
No, like an intake form as far as property details.
Got it. So what software are you using? Oh, I get it. Like one within Privy, right? Or what do you mean?
Yeah, I'm not sure if there is one in Privy. Go ahead, Cam.
You're basically looking for a way to give you information on what you need to upload into Zenlist, right?
I think that's just build a form for us.
Correct, sir. Yes.
Correct.
Yep. Yep. So what we do is we use something like Jarvis, and we have a form, or you can use Typeform. I love Typeform.
Mhm.
That basically we just take the minimum of information that we're willing to use or willing to receive and post on our account, and we'll just say, "Hey, fill out this form here," and it sets up an automatic email. There's nothing that does like an automatic listing because Zenlist is built for an MLS, which is what we're considered. So it's supposed to require kind of that extra oversight. But essentially, what we do is we just create a form that has all those fillable blanks, and you could do this with a Google form if you wanted. And so we just collect it all that way. Because basically, what everybody else does is they would have charged you all for that like secondary account. Essentially, we're just saying, hey, just use the account. I don't care if you share it or whatever. So like they could technically, if you wanted to, access your account, sharing your password and uploading straight into it, right? But I would recommend taking the form approach just because that way they don't have access to all your buyer information.
No, perfect. I appreciate it. I just want to keep things streamlined so there's not back and forth, with the wholesalers so that they don't feel that I'm unprofessional and not able to handle getting it posted for them.
Yep. And
Yeah.
what you can also do is if you reach out to Canon, I know that you guys have connected. We
Yeah.
actually have an SOP that we could share with you that we use with our VAs so like our concierge service. We have basically a process developed for that, right? And we'd be happy to share that with you.
Perfect, dude. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Mariah, you had a question?
Yes. So, oddly today I was driving back to work and I seen two properties that were distressed. So I circled back around to look at them and I did my homework on them and they're both owned by a LLC. And I'm just wondering, what do you guys think about that or suggest when dealing with people or properties that are already owned under like a LLC? Should I make contact or are those not good
I
deals?
would say make contact, period. I mean, I love talking to business owners because I'm a business owner. It's actually an easier conversation. In my opinion,
Okay.
whenever I'm talking to people and I'm like, you can talk to motivated sellers, it always kind of, I just feel like I'm hearing like a sob story. When I'm talking to like a business owner, it's different. I'm talking to somebody who's going through like a business problem. So like the conversation's a little bit more high level, more professional. I literally I'm dealing with that now. I'm dealing with that now. I'm actually I don't know if you guys were on Saturday's call, but Mariah, I marketed to a property where the person owned 8 houses and he was losing 4 of them through foreclosure. And he's actually somebody that I know of locally that those properties are all owned under an LLC. And so I didn't even know the situation until I reached out to him. I used AI, really. I sent out the text messages and then people started replying and AI took over and he was vetting. The AI was vetting. And so it told me that this guy was interested in selling. I gave him a call. That's a recording, by the way. Alex, you could do me a favor. Can you drop my last YouTube video that I uploaded into the comment section so Mariah can see it? But it was an LLC. The guy had an LLC, right? So he not only did I get the one lead, I got all the others too. So like he gave me his whole portfolio. I talked to him on Monday. He flies out to he's from I think like somewhere in the Middle East, right? But he's awesome. I mean, I've been talking to him. He's known me for years since I got into the game, like 2014, 2015. And so he's been a fan. Just so happens that he knew me. So we had a high level business conversation and he gave me the addresses to his properties. And I mean, it was just fire, dude. It was fire. It was like less than an hour of work. I found that. So I would say it is worth your time. If you want to know who owns those properties by name, go to opencorporates.com and then look up the LLC and it'll tell you who the registered members and agents are. And you'll get
Yep.
their
I already did through our state because I'm in Minnesota. I did through our state website. I searched their business and I was able to find his registered agent and like the address. So I plan to like mail a letter to that address to see if I can get something.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, I think that's a great opportunity. So definitely worth your time. You really never know.
Thank you.
All right, guys. So we're about at time for that. We have a big announcement that we wanted to make. Okay. And I appreciate the questions. This is something that's huge. But this is what's dope. Now that we've all learned how to run our own experiments, again, we learned how to build and qualify cash buyers. We learned how to run comps. We learned how to package and blast our deals, how to negotiate and close with confidence. We got some real good game from today's call. This is the thing, all right? It's time to take action. If you're not inside of Dispo Labs, Join. It's free. Alex has been dropping links this entire call. Join, and it's part of what Cameron and I are doing. We have a whole community that's built around dispositioning deals and building a network. So again, if you're having struggles like moving a deal, this is the greatest place for you to be. But this is something that's really cool, man. A long time ago, and a galaxy full of contracts. We have something really awesome to announce for all of you guys that are here. Cameron, you want to go ahead and take the mic on this real quick? This is called Network Wars, and it's going to be a challenge that's going to start July 1st. And I'd love for all of y'all to be involved with what this is. All right. So, Cam, go ahead, brother. Kind of go over this.
Yeah, I love the network wars thing that Alex did there. That's so fun. But so guys, basically, me and Q were trying to figure out a way to activate everybody and do all this together and have some fun doing it, right? So we were going to just do a 30-day challenge, but then we realized that probably just wasn't good enough. So what we've done is we've basically created a monthly recurring competition, and all of this is going to happen within Dispo Lab itself. And we're going to constantly be updating the prizes and stuff, but we'll get there in a second. It's going to be real simple. So I'm going to do a shared screen here so that you all can follow along and know exactly where to find this information. So if you join the Dispo Lab community, which I know has been dropped a couple times there, the first thing I would do is join that, because that's how you're going to qualify. All right. So here I am right here in the Dispo Lab community, right? We've gotten 300 members in like a week. It's crazy. So go to the Classroom tab. In the Classroom tab, you're going to see something called Network Wars, right? All right, so you can read along if you'd like. I'm going to give you the summary. So how it works, here's how it's going to work. As you all saw, just here in a quick little zoom, there's a pretty simple way to make money on the PLN. Right? It's all about collaboration. It's all about dispo and deals. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a point system that you can score just by using the network. And the top 3 participants with the most points on the leaderboard, we're going to give away a lifetime free patron membership. So like for real lifetime. So, you know, I know some of you guys are already in here. You've already opted into the program, but you can still win this, and I will reverse it and you will get a lifetime membership. So this is honestly your time to shine, because you've already got in there before everybody else and checked it out, right? Because you listened to us on the last Zoom, right? So there's basically 3 things you're going to do here, right? But the number 1 rule is we got to have fun with it, okay? I don't think any of this is worth it if it's not fun. So at the end of the day, that's why we're trying to, you know, we're being goofy about it. But the reality is we want to be a little goofy, because if you don't love it, you're not going to stick with it, right? It's cool to make money, but even money gets old after a while, okay? If you're not having fun what you're doing, you're not going to really do it and build a community around yourself. So let me tell you about the 3 ways to score points. Number 1, add buyers to Zenlist. So you have to have a patron account, right? That's a have to. You're going to have to add buyers to your Zenlist account. So you get 2 points for every new buyer you add starting July 1. Okay. That's whenever we'll start the actual scoreboard and the leaderboard, the account. Second way, and it has to be a new buyer. Second way, you can assign a contract or sell a listing on the PLN. So you can either A, bring a deal to the PLN and get it sold, or B, bring a buyer to a deal that's on the PLN and get it sold, right? And you're going to bag up 20 points. Now, because I love you guys, but I'm a trust but verify kind of fella, you are going to have to send me proof of that. All right. No fabricating points here. The third way to score points is we want to build this network, because as I told you all earlier, it's like a giant snowball, right? The more patrons that join, the more powerful our network that we are building together gets, right? And if you all can buy into that vision, I think you'll see why it's so nuts that we're able to put this together. So the third way to score points is by simply recruiting a patron. When you join, when you get an account, you're going to get an affiliate code. So not only am I going to do this for you guys to give away 3 lifetime memberships, I'm also going to pay you to score points too. So I'm going to give you an affiliate link, and every time you get somebody to join, you're going to get 10 points, right? And we'll be able to track all that. So we will be able to see the leaderboard. Okay, maybe we'll change our mind down the road, but I don't want you all to. It wants to be a surprise. All right, that's what we voted on. So to get set up, you really only need 3 things for the network wars. After joining the Dispo Lab, you got to go get Q's free buyers list. Now, I'm not saying that you can't do it any other way, but the man's giving it to you for free. So why not jump in? Why not go ahead and rip it from him? And why not use that to start with so you can start scoring points, right? Then you got to get a free CRM. Now, I'm pretty sure that Q already dropped probably 3 or 4 that would give you a free trial that you could start with. But if nothing else, what I've got is I've got a buddy who gave me a Google sheet that he built just for you guys and for some of his students to be able to just use at a very basic level to say, hey, let me import my buyers so that I can call them with my cell phone, right? So that's a super simple thing. It's literally, it's not anything fancy, but you can't use it as an excuse because I just gave you a free way to keep track of everything, right? Then the next thing is you just need a way to contact buyers, right? So I've never used Google Voice before, but I'm told that you can do that for basically free. You can use things like Mojo Dialer. You can use other softwares like Jarvis. Or if you want to get real crafty, you can just use your cell phone. So either way, you got something to pound the dial on, right? And then, of course, you're going to have that active patron membership. And you can say, well, of course you want me to do this because you want me to pay you $47 now. Well, I'm going to give it to you that for free. So don't give me that. All right. So if you use this code right here, Dispo Lab 1 free, you're going to get a free first 30 days, right? Now, if you want to add buyers, just remember for the unlimited buyers, there isn't an upgrade required for the 39. So you get unlimited listings for your base membership, but to get unlimited buyers, you do have to do the $39 a month. I'm going to put this into the course later tonight, but just so that you don't say I was treating you unfair, I'm going to give you 30 days of the upgraded version for free too, right? So as soon as you put that you put that coupon code in ZenList to upgrade, you're going to get 30 days of the pro version for free as well. So I'm going to give you free membership. I'm going to pay you to invite others. And I'm also going to give you a free upgraded ZenList account so that you can hopefully have a lifetime access to a patron membership forever. I don't know how much more free I can get on that, but if you got ideas, I'm open. Oh, somebody's my bug zapper. Apparently, I need to go turn it off. But listen, these mosquitoes kill me. All right.
Dude, it is crazy, y'all. Like legit, this is gonna be super fun, y'all. This is an interactive thing that we're launching July 1st. We want everybody here that's in this community right now, that's a part of this group, that's part of this call, to be a part of this, man. Like really, this is going to be such a great way for not only all of us to build a network together, because you guys already get access to all my buyers. Going in to my buyers list, downloading it, this is your opportunity now to market to it, to vet them, call them, and then again, guys, all of the more snowball, the more that we snowball this, the easier that it's for us all to do deals together. I'm telling y'all, it's like the ultimate hack. I know so many people that make tons of money just JVing with other people. If you haven't done a deal yet, you can partner with other people inside of our private listing network to get a deal done and still be compensated. No shortcutting, no going around anybody. Everything's trackable in one place. And we're gonna have a buyer for everything, but we need y'all help to get there. Okay. And so, guys, we're launching this inside of the group. This challenge starts for 30 days on July. And it's going to be exciting, man. You know, guys, I just got the due date from my daughter. It's July 8th. So your boy's kid is going to be born July 8th. I'm excited, man. My first daughter, dude. I've been praying for this moment for years. And lo and behold, that's a part of it. So y'all get the opportunity to get ahead of me while I'm out of commission for 2 weeks taking care of my baby girl. That's all I'm saying. Like y'all get to go in and take my buyers list and try to get ahead of me within that time frame because I'm gonna be competing too. All right. And so, guys, man, whoever are the top 3 here, we got so much awesome things that we're gonna be able to give to you guys. And I just want everybody here to be involved. Okay. And so, guys, today's session was really about just getting us together, understanding Dispo on a high level, connecting all of us so that we're all in the same place. But get on the other side, man. I need y'all to hit the link in the comment section below and get on the other side. This way we can all be connected. All you guys can message me. I'm very active. This is what I'm doing right now is the community, the coaching, the classes. Did y'all get value from this call? Drop a fire emoji if you got value from what we just did today, man. Literally. I really appreciate everybody that joined today's call. I know it's getting late. It's a Wednesday. We got family. We got stuff we got to do tomorrow. Thank you guys for giving us an hour of your time. We will see y'all on Dispo Labs on the other side. And I hope that everybody here starts this challenge now. Okay. So, guys, with that being said, I'm going to leave the room open so that we can all network with each other. I'm going to get off of the call. Alex can keep the room open. I made you a co host. So, just kind of keep it open so that people can come in and unmute yourselves. All right. So, I'm going to unpin us. Guys, thank y'all so much for allowing us the opportunity to do this call with y'all. And we'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace out, everybody.